Recording, okay. So this is going to be a quick video, hopefully, of my Oscar predictions this year, and what I think will win and what I think should win out of each category. So we're just going to jump right into it, and I have not included the short film categories because I haven't seen any of them, you haven't seen any of them, neither of us know what any of them are, so I'm just going to be going through the big categories, so to speak. So, Best Picture, we have the nominations are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, June Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. And out of all of those 10 films, which is a lot each year, it's always 10 movies, it's so many, I've got, for what I think will win, is The Brutalist, which I wasn't sure about because it's so similar to Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer won last year, and that's also a 3-hour-long historical epic. But my prediction as of now is The Brutalist. And what I think should win is The Substance, because that's one of my favourite movies this year. Not my absolute favourite. I still think Love Lies Bleeding is even better than The Substance, as a sort of, in some ways, a bit similar movie. Has a bit of horror to it. And for Best Director, we have Sean Baker for Anora, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard, I think, for Emilia Perez, and Coralie Fargeau for The Substance. And what I've got for what I think probably will win at this stage is Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, maybe. I'm not super confident in like any of these picks anyway, but whatever, I've got that as what I think will win. But who I think should win is Coralie Fargeau for The Substance, for the reasons mentioned before. It's my favourite movie, well, it's my favourite of these picks, so that's what I've got for Best Director. Then we have Best Actor, Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Now, what I've got as what I think the Academy will pick is Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. I sort of think this movie, this Bob Dylan biopic, will probably win that category, but not win any other categories, I feel like. For a James Mangold biopic, that seems about right. But who I think should win is Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, for playing Donald Trump. I think he did an amazing job. I think it's more than just a goofy impression. I think he's actually bringing some substance to the role, and I think he's just freaking amazing in that movie. I really liked The Apprentice, so I've got Sebastian Stan for that. That's who I think should, but I think they'll probably give it to Timothée Chalamet. The only thing that might come in the way of that is they won't give it to Timothée Chalamet because, you know, he's very young. He'll probably be back there pretty soon in the coming years anyway. He's probably got a bunch of Oscar opportunities in the future, so maybe they'll give it to someone else like Adrien Brody for The Brutalist. I don't know, but I've got Timothée Chalamet as of now to win for that category. I think oftentimes the Best Actor winner pick is usually, just given history, it's usually a good performance in an okay movie. And for Best Actress, we have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, we have Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, and we have Mikey Madison for Anora, we have Demi Moore for The Substance, and we have Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. And what I've got for who I think will win and who should is both in one for this one. I've got Demi Moore for The Substance. I think she will win, I think she should win. And I would be, really happy with that, given that she's never won an Oscar or any serious award other than, I think, the Golden Globe for this performance. It's a really good movie. She's really good in it. To be honest, I'm not sure why Cynthia Erivo was nominated for Wicked. I actually liked Wicked, but that's the only pick in this list. I'm like, really? I don't know. Then we have the Best Supporting Actor category. We have Yura Borisov for Anora. We have Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. And this, same as the Best Actress category, I've got Kieran Culkin for who I think they'll pick for Best Supporting Actor and who I think should, because he was amazing in A Real Pain. He was doing some serious acting, bringing a ton of range of emotion, playing a pretty intense character. I think it'll go for them. So some people are saying that he's only been nominated and only might win because of Succession. I don't think that's true. I think that's a bit stupid. I think even if Succession he hadn't been in Succession, or Succession hadn't been a show, and this movie came out, he would still be nominated for A Real Pain, because I think he's just really good in the role. And so Yura Borisov is an interesting pick as a nomination for Anora, although I think the actor in that movie more deserving of it is Karen Karagulian, who plays is it Taurus in Anora? I reckon he was just amazing in that role. What else do we have here? Other than that, no real opinions given this category. Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, maybe some people think he was only nominated for that because of Succession too, but I don't think Succession has anything to do with it in these categories. I think Kieran Culkin especially is just really good in A Real Pain, and I think they'll give it to him. And it's cool to see an actor nominated who's not your typical but playing your typical Oscar performance role, you know, like J. Robert Oppenheimer or Daniel Plainview or Queen Elizabeth or something like that. It's just a young kind of guy with mental illness who smokes weed and who's been nominated for Best Supporting Actor in that role. Best Supporting Actress, we have Ariana Grande for Wicked, Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Who I've got as who I think probably they might pick for this category is Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and I haven't seen Conclave. I don't know much about that or the role, but she's a older actress at this point too, Isabella Rossellini. She's had a lot of great roles. I think they might give it her time to shine in this category. I'm not sure why Ariana Grande was nominated for Wicked. Again, I like Wicked, but I think the only Oscars it's truly deserving of are the technical awards like production design, costume design, and things like that. Best Original Screenplay here. So we have Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, or September 5th, however you want to say it, or the 5th of September, and The Substance. And what I've got here for, I think The Substance will win and should win. I think the Academy likes movies that have a pretty crazy premise in the Best Original Screenplay category, and The Substance definitely has that. These other picks are pretty cool too. Anora is a good pick for this category that has some very unpredictable elements in terms of the writing and stuff. A Real Pain is, a clever movie, lots of good dialogue and interesting characters. Haven't seen September 5. But I've got The Substance for Best Original Screenplay. I reckon that'll go. I'm quite confident with that pick. Then we have Best Adapted Screenplay. Screenplay based on a pre-existing thing. We have A Complete Unknown. We have Conclave. I don't know what that's based on. We have Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. And I don't have a strong opinion on what I think should win in this category, but I've got Conclave as what I think will win. I think Conclave's been getting a lot of hype for some reason. Best Animated Feature Film, and in this category we have Flow, we have Inside Out 2, we have Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, A Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. And what I think should win in this category is Memoir of a Snail. That's an excellent movie. It's dark, it's funny, it's dramatic and emotional, well animated too. But what I think will probably win in this category is The Wild Robot. I think it has enough hype behind it to take that. Although they might also give it to Inside Out 2 because the Academy has a long history of, in this category, voting for the Disney pick and or the Pixar pick. So that has a good chance, but I've got The Wild Robot if they want to just change it up this year. We'll see. But The Wild Robot might take it. That's my prediction. Best International Feature Film. So we have Emilia Perez, we have Flow, we have The Girl with the Needle, I'm Still Here, and The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Now, in this category, I haven't seen any of these movies. Emilia Perez, I'm hearing a lot of controversy about, and that's what I've got as maybe will win in this category. There's a lot of controversy regarding the trans side of that film, as well as the Mexican side of that film being not very wholesome. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of these other movies either. I don't know a lot about any of these, to be quite honest. But as of now, I've got Emilia Perez for Will Win. Best Original Score. That is music written for a motion picture rather than a soundtrack. And the categories are The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. And what I've got for Will Win, I think The Brutalist will win. I've actually seen The Brutalist now, and it's pretty good film, and the music actually was really good in it. I really enjoyed the sort of sad-ish kind of score they had going on in that. Wicked maybe has a good chance too, but because that's a musical, it might maybe win a Best Original Song category. We'll see about that, but I've got The Brutalist for what I think will win. No strong opinion for what I think should win, to be honest. Although, actually, now that I've seen The Brutalist, I reckon The Brutalist should win. Then we have Best Original Song, and the nominees are El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from The 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino, also from Emilia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. So what I've got for what I think will win, I believe El Mal from Emilia Perez is picking up a lot of hype, so that might take it for Best Original Song. Nothing for Wicked in this category because Wicked isn't an original movie, it's based on the play, so therefore none of the songs in Wicked are original. No strong opinions here. I haven't seen any of these movies nominated, so but for my pick I would say Emilia Perez, El Mal. Then we have Best Sound Design. We have A Complete Unknown, June Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. And my pick is June Part 2. That was a freaking loud movie. I remember seeing that in cinemas. I had to like block my ears during some parts of it because there's sound and this swelling of certain things. It was just so loud. But yeah, I've got that as will win. It's a big sci-fi epic. They usually give it to the most technical production, like your genre films, like your sci-fi films or your action films or fantasy films in this category. So I've got June Part 2 for Best Sound. For Best Production Design, the nominees are The Brutalist, Conclave, June Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. And what I think should win here is Wicked, because so many of the sets in that movie were built practically, and it looks amazing when you see the movie, like the interiors and the exteriors, and yeah, lots of physical buildings rather than CGI backdrops and that kind of thing. What probably will win though is The Brutalist, given that that's a film about architecture and about production design, so they'll probably give it to that, and it's a period piece, and yeah, it's, you know, they'll probably give it to The Brutalist, to be honest. No strong opinions there. Nosferatu was really, really good, but it might win in some other categories we'll get to. Next we have Best Cinematography, and the nominees are The Brutalist, June Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. And what I think should win here is Nosferatu, because that movie is really, really good. It's scary. It has great use of shadows and dark lighting and things like that. Yeah, Nosferatu is one of my maybe favourite movies of last year. It's my favourite Robert Eggers movie, I reckon, so far. I liked what they did with that. But what I think probably will win, maybe, is The Brutalist, given that it's a period piece, it's a big, long epic. They often give cinematography to those types of movies in the Oscars, so I've got The Brutalist for what I reckon will, but Nosferatu, I think, should. Best Makeup and Hairstyling, we have nominated A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. And what I've got for what I think will win and should win is The Substance in this one as well. It was pretty amazing what they did with the horror prosthetic effects and the body horror and the, like, just disformations of Demi Moore's character towards the end. It got pretty crazy. I think A Different Man had some pretty good makeup and hairstyling on Sebastian Stan's character in that movie. That movie in general is also one of my favourite movies of last year. What else do we have? Wicked probably could deserve to win in this category too. That was like really good, but also Nosferatu could probably win in this category. Maybe it should, but I think they'll give it to The Substance. It's got the most traction. It's kind of the craziest makeup and hairstyling, and they often give this award to the craziest pick. Best editing, and the nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. And what I've got as what I think should win in this is Anora, probably. The way that movie is kind of structured is quite interesting for the movie that it is. What I think will win is... well, I've got Emilia Perez here for what I think will win, but I might change my mind right now and say The Brutalist might win this. Lately, they maybe seem to be giving this editing award to movies that are the longest and the most patient testing, if that makes sense. So I might say The Brutalist. They also seem to pair this award with things that might win Best Picture and Best Cinematography and things like that. So maybe I'll say Best Editing might go to The Brutalist, but what I think should win is Anora. And we're nearly there now. The next category is Best Visual Effects, which usually falls under Best CGI and Special Effects, as it were. So the nominees are Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. So in this category, what I think will win is Dune Part 2. They normally give visual effects award to the movie that is most likely to win Best Picture out of these categories, and I think that goes to Dune Part 2. It's the most cultured, maybe, pick out of these. I reckon what should win is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really love the Apes movies, and the visual effects on the apes are always just outstanding. That movie has great action in it too, great set pieces. All around, I was a big fan of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I thought that movie was excellent. I don't know why Better Man is nominated. Alien Romulus, I don't know why that's nominated either. I didn't think that movie was all that good. Wicked, because the production design outshines the visual effects and CGI, they'll probably just, not give it to Wicked. But yeah, Dune Part 2 is my pick for that one. But I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes should. And then we have Best Documentary Feature. And I have no idea what any of these are, but we'll go through them anyway. We have Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'Etat, and Sugarcane. And what I think will win, given the brief Google searching I did, is maybe Porcelain War. I can't remember what it was about, but it sounds like, when I did the research, it sounds like it might be about certain subject matter that the Academy will give it to. Is it about Ukraine? Maybe. And that'll conclude the nominees I'm going to go through in this video. Like I said, I've skipped the short live-action short film, documentary short film, and animated short film because I just haven't seen them. I don't know how to see them. So I've just gone through the big ones. I might do another video after the Oscars and see how well I did. But as of now, this will conclude this. And happy Oscars!